Welcome to United Man. My name is Shane. Just thought I'd catch up with regards to everything that's been going on. Really, wanted to touch on the impending Wolves game tomorrow at 5:30. What that game's going to be like, and I just wanted to catch up on everything that's been going on with regards to Bruno Fernandes, how we feel about that, what impact we feel he's going to have. So yeah, got a bit to go through. If we start with the Wolves game, the impending Wolves games. Now, I know we've had obviously two results in terms of actual games where we've won the game. Obviously, we won 1-0 against City. We won 6-0 against Tranmere. Now, as the season's gone, we've always had two good, two bad. So that would normally spell that we're going to have a bad game against Wolves. I don't know. So I'm trying to see. Now we've got Bruno Fernandes done overline, brilliant, fantastic. I'm really happy about that. Now I'm just worried about Ollie's dodgy tactics. In all honesty, so he likes his 4-2-1-3. He seems to like this five at the back when we're playing against big teams. Now, as I say, Ollie tactically, since he's been at United, he's not been the greatest. So that would be my only worry, really and truly. So remains to be seen. So we'll have to see how he plays out. Now, 2 clean sheets in the last 2 games, always encouraging, even though it's against Tranmere. But obviously we did it against City as well at the Etihad. All season long, it's been the case where it doesn't seem to be an issue raising ourselves for the bigger games. It's been more the likes of Burnley, obviously, where we anyway. But I honestly don't believe. I don't know. We need to get this win, obviously, but I really, really don't know if we're going to get the win against Wolves. They're such a really, really good unit. They play as they give Liverpool tons of trouble at home a couple of weeks ago. Now, I feel like Ollie, this is how I feel Ollie will line up. I feel he'll line up with obviously De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, and Brandon Williams. I feel like he'll go with Fred, Pereira, and Mata in the middle, and Daniel James, Marshall, and Lingard on the right. Now, the only reason I feel like he's going to go with that is because Ollie's old school in terms of loyalty, and Bruno's only had 1 training session with the lads, so he will probably feel like he needs to give him a bit of basically not throwing him in at the deep end. Whereas I think Bruno Fernandes will be chomping at the bit to get on that pitch. And obviously we're at home in front of the home crowd. They'll be looking forward to seeing him. But I think Ollie will start with, as I said, Fred, Pereira, and Matic in that 4-2-1-3 type of role. Not what I want to see, and I'm pretty sure it's not what most of you guys want to see either. But that's how I feel he's going to basically start off the game. Now, how would you guys line it up? How would you guys set up against Wolves? Wolves are a very, very, very good team. We all know this. So I don't know. Wolves are somewhat our bogey team, and that's the thing that's so annoying because I really don't know how we're gonna react to obviously not having Rashford available, because Rashford always occupies 2 or 3 defenders offensively, and he puts in work defensively as well. Now, I think Ollie, if he does start Bruno on the bench, he may end up bringing him on at half time if the game isn't going as planned. If Lingard plays how he did and has been for the past 14 to 15 months, then he may end up bringing Lingard off at half time if he starts with Lingard. I don't think he'll start with Greenwood unless he plays with obviously the 5 at the back again. I'm hoping he doesn't, because there's no real outlets, and obviously playing Luke Shaw as a free, I'm not saying this he can't do it, but for me, no. And Ollie's a lover of Andreas Pereira and Jesse Lingard without reason. That's my gripe with Ollie. He doesn't justify the reasons for selecting certain players or not selecting certain players. Like Mata, when Matis came in and played this season, he's done really, really well. Angel Gomez, he's looked a lot better than Pereira and Lingard put together when he's had his one or two opportunities. So yeah, I'm just not confident in Ollie in terms of his tactics and selection. So and that's hurt us. It really has. Now, danger men for Wolves, they've got a lot of them. They've got Jimenez up top, uh, Coutinho, Neves, Adama Traore. They've got a lot of danger men. They play well as a unit, as I say. They play together. They're not a team full of superstars. They're a well-oiled, well-drilled unit. And that's what worries me. They know how to play. They certainly know how to play against us anyway. I think the game that we beat them in the FA Cup, I feel like we was lucky. So yeah, for me, I feel like yeah, I'm just never confident when we come up against Wolves. I'm really not. So, but based on how we've been playing, obviously scored 6 goals against Tranmere. I know it's lower league opposition, but obviously we've been turned over by lower league opposition before as well. So yeah, looks a bit strange, but yeah. Also, we've signed Nathan. What is his name? Nathan, goalkeeper. I have to have a look. Yeah. We've signed another goalkeeper from Southend, and that's one position I really don't feel like we needed to strengthen in. So that one there was a bit of a strange one. Yeah, Nathan Bishop. That's a really, really strange one. Bruno Fernandes, we needed all day long. But signing another goalkeeper from Southend. He's a 20-year-old goalkeeper. We've got Lee Grant, who's our third choice, obviously. We've got Joel Pereira, we've got David De Gea, we've got Romero, and we've got Dean Henderson out on loan, who for me is probably England's #1 goalkeeper right now. So signing another goalkeeper, a young goalkeeper, for me just didn't make any sense. I know we're trying to go for a striker last minute, just like everything Man United does is last minute. We don't forward plan clearly. But yeah, how that works out, I don't know. Let's see who's in the comments. What's going on, Rachel? How's it going? Salim, how's it going, man? Yeah, no Lingard. I'm hoping not. But just the way Ollie goes, he loves Lingard. He loves Pereira for no good reason. Yeah, Bruno's number 18. I've seen it as well. Paul Scholes, the legend. Paul Scholes' his number, man. How do we feel about that? He's given away Paul Scholes' number. That was obviously his compatriot as well at Man United. But yeah, I think Bruno will wear that shirt well. I think he'll do it justice, and yeah, I think we'll have a new favorite, new age, not to replace Paul Scholes, obviously, but a new age favorite, number 18. Salim says one Bruno. Now, it's not that obviously I want Bruno to start, but an all realist. Listen, as I said before, Ollie has this thing about loyalty, which is why I think he keeps playing the likes of Andres Pereira and Lingard. But then on the other hand, you've got Juan Mata, who's technically a lot better than both of those, but he doesn't really play him. He brings him on. I don't know. I know mobility is not Mata's strong suit, but like I say, he makes up for it in his passing ability and his technique. And I think that's the type of play you need against Wolves. We need to retain possession. They obviously with Ruben Neves and João Moutinho in that central midfield, and Raul Jimenez up top. They work well as a unit. They retain possession very well. So I feel like we need to have Mata in there. I feel like Ollie will have Mata in there to try and combat that. And obviously Matic is suspended. Silly suspension. We probably could have won the game the other day if he didn't get himself sent off the way the game was going. And obviously Fred, who was, I should say, our superstar set piece taker. Now that we've got Bruno Fernandes in this side, I fully expect Bruno Fernandes to come in, take over all the set piece duties. That's free kicks, corners, both short and long distance, and he's that good. So yeah, I don't think we'll have an issue. I think we'll start scoring goals now from set pieces as well. Harry Maguire obviously got his first goal for Man United the other day, but that was a rocket from the edge of the area. Well, I'm talking about obviously getting a few more on his 50p head from corners and free kicks. So I'm expecting, as I say, Bruno Fernandes to take over the set piece duties. over Fred. Obviously, Fred took the free kick at the end of the game, where obviously City fouled, and obviously Ollie wanted Mata to take it, and I believe that would have been the correct decision. But between Mata and Fred, they decided to let Fred take it. Who he must be working on it and in training, but he's just not that guy. Um, as I said, yeah, Bruno, I believe, will be starting on off the bench. Not what I want, but that's just what I feel Ollie will do. Dan James off the left, Lingard off the right, and Martial down the middle. Martial really, 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 really needs to step up, man, because it's hurting us big time. And for us to try and finish in the top four, ultimately Martial's going to have to start banging in goals. I believe if you play Dan James off the left-hand side like he did when he started, when Rashford was starting down the middle at the beginning of the season, I feel like Dan James is more of a goal threat from the left-hand side. And because he can go to the byline, cross with his left, or cut in on his right and shoot with his right, I feel like Dan James is a lot more of a threat down the left-hand side. And I feel like he looks a bit more comfortable down the left-hand side as well for some reason. So yeah, I'll go back to the comments, see what everyone's saying. Palmeiras, what's going on, man? Igalo is looking close to done for. So yeah, so Igalo, when he was at Watford before, he's a all-round striker. He doesn't specialize in any one category. As I say, Igalo is an all-round striker. So if we can get that deal done, I feel like it's a good option. You can move Martial back over to the left whilst Rashford's injured, and Igalo straight down the middle. And ultimately, he's not going to stifle Greenwood's development because he's going to be coming in and out the side as he will be expected if we do get him. And I'm not mad at that type of signing. It's not going to cost us a load of money or anything like that. You know, he knows the Premier League. Yeah, I'm not mad at that type of signing. It's a temporary signing. Yeah, I'm happy with that if we were to do that. But at the same time, kindness shows our fall from grace. But where we are, where we are. You know, we can't be turning on our nose up at, you know, our situation. We are where we are. So, yeah, I'm not mad at that one. As I say, he's an all-rounder. I think he's a different type of striker. He is good in the air. He is fairly physical. He's not the biggest striker in the world, obviously, but he's a physical type of striker. He can put himself about. He's good in the air. So I'm not mad at that one at all, really. Alpha Samurai, I love your channel. Subscribed. Yo, much appreciated for the support. We'll keep doing what we're doing. I love making this content. Love conversing with you guys. As you guys will see from all my videos, as soon as I get around to it, I've been under the weather recently. I know, violin moment, but yeah, I've not got around to responding to my latest video, but all the rest of my videos, I always respond to all comments as I see it coming in. And there's a strange one where YouTube sometimes spam certain comments, so I'll see it on my notification, but when I click on it to respond, it's not there. I go to my spam and it's like 2 weeks ago. So yeah, that's the only time I won't respond to a comment is if YouTube haven't put it into spam. If Ollie doesn't play Bruno from the start and plays Pereira, who is the worst? Who is the worst United player I've seen? He makes Jemba look world class. There will be there will be a massive walkout 58. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Obviously, I know there's a big walkout planned at the obviously on the 58th minute, which I still think we should be looking to support because ultimately the Glazers and also Woodward, who is kept in his job by the Glazers, he's their puppet. Ultimately, he's kept in the job by them guys. So yeah, I feel the heat on the Glazers and the and Mr. Glazer and his guys is warranted. So I'm backing that full pelt. So obviously I'm not at the game tomorrow. I'm at full. No, I'm not full time. I'm not in Manchester. So I do some bits of full time Devils sometimes. So I'm not there. I'm not there tomorrow. So yeah, it should be cool. Should be cool. But I may do a watch along tomorrow if I can. If I'm gonna, I'll notify everyone either on Twitter or on the community feed on YouTube. Rachel's laughing at what John said. Winson, Odi Nigalo, are we serious? Listen, with Igalo, he's a different type of striker. He's a temporary striker. At the moment, who else do we have? Martial's not banging in the goals. Rashford's injured. Pogba's injured. Bruno's just come in and isn't a striker. Daniel James isn't knocking him in. Greenwood is a kid. We can't put pressure on him too much. And obviously he's been starting up front last couple of games. Hasn't really looked a goal threat. So you need to, excuse me, manage Greenwood's appearances. So for me, I'm not mad at that signing. As excuse me, as I've said before, we kind of need to look at where we're at. We can't turn our nose up at the situation. We are where we are. Red Devil Weekly, what's going on, Kieran? Hey, mate, I feel if we are to get top four, these are the sort of games we need to win. But Wolves will be a very tough breakdown. Yeah, that's my mate, Kieran there, Red Devil Weekly. Go and check out the channel, guys, as well. Now, it's a good point, Kieran. These are the type of games we definitely need to win. They're in and around us. They're a very good side. They're going to be beating other teams in and around us as well. So they'll be putting pressure on us all the way. So we have to. If we want top four, as Kieran said, we do need to win this game for sure. Rachel says we should start Greenwood more. Yeah, yes and no on that one. I think we have to pick and choose Greenwood's games because I don't want to. He turned 18 in October. So, he's literally just turned 18. So I don't want to burn him out. I don't want to put him in situations. I think we need to play it smart, like Ollie was doing, picking and choosing the games that he starts in. But obviously, since Rashford's got injured, he's had to throw him in more. But I don't know. I think we have to be careful in terms of not starting him too much. He wasn't starting loads of games before because obviously we had Rashford, because we had Martial. Daniel James started a ton of games. You can see his burnout already. Don't really want the same thing to happen to Mason Greenwood. Obviously, there was a stat saying the other day, he's the first striker since 1984 to score 10 goals at his age. He's the youngest striker since 1984 to score 10 goals at his age. So you can kind of see the trajectory that Greenwood is on. So I really don't want to burn him out. Sometimes you can learn a lot from sitting on the bench, observing the game, thinking, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that, and coming on and affecting the game. That reminds me of the game when we played against City, and both Martial and Greenwood were making runs in behind. They were curving their runs, looking for the ball in over the top, and we just didn't have anyone in the side that could find those type of passes. So that's what Bruno brings to the side as well. When Pogba comes back, obviously we know he can do that as well. So yeah, I'm really excited to see Bruno come and do his thing. We may be, so I may get a surprise, and obviously Ollie may start him, but I do think he'll start him from the bench, and remain loyal to Pereira and Mata as he's done all season for no reason. Not Mata so much, but Pereira and Lingard. Rachel says we've played Wolves 6 times in 12 months. I know these guys, man, they're always up against us. And they're our bogey team, man. We've only beaten them, I think, is it once or twice? We just need to stick one on them. And when we beat them in the FA Cup, we really didn't deserve it. We wasn't the dominating side, I should say. We wasn't the domineering team. They could have beaten us with the chances they had if they stuck them away as well. Ballast Dad, what's United? Man, where's my can of water? That's my mate Dom. What's going on, Dom, man? Taymor Karim, do you think Ollie may use the 3-5-2? Yeah, and I really don't want him to do that. Yeah, really don't want him to do that. If he does do that, I feel like we don't have the options. If he does do that, I think he should do 2 things. One, if he's playing the 3 at the back, he plays Lindelof on the left-hand side of the 3, Maguire down the middle, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right of the 3. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, 1-on-1, 2-on-1, he is the best 1-on-1 defender in the Premier League. And as I said, it's not just me. I've said in my videos before, it's not just me saying that. You've got ex-professionals like Alan Shearer, Gary Lineker, Martin Keown saying that, hands down, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is the best 1-on-1 defender. When people go down his side of the pitch, they stop, check back in, and pass the ball off to their central midfielders because they just don't want to know, because they know they're not going to get past him. Raheem Sterling was kept quiet the other night until I think, we made a mistake in the center of the pitch, and we broke. Harry Maguire made a good tackle on him. But yeah, anyone down Wan-Bissaka's side, they just don't get past him. So for me, play him in that 3 at the back, and you play Brandon Williams on that left-hand side, and then you play Diego Dallo, who's very good going forward. He can actually beat a man, and his delivery is fantastic. So for me, I'd play Wan-Bissaka in the three, right side of the three, Maguire in the middle, and Lindelof on the left-hand side, and Brandon Williams on the left, and Dallo on the right. And then you can play two in midfield. You can play two holding midfielders then, and you can express yourself with three up top. That's what I'd do. Football fan for you, that's my guy Danny. What's going on, man? Igalo, no, he says. Like I said, we have to realise our fall from grace, man. We're not the team he once was. He's an ex-Watford player. He's now playing in, was it China or something like that? And we look at him. Listen, I think he'd surprise some people if we brought him in. He's a goal threat. That's what I can say, both aerially and on the ground. Palmeiras, we need any striker, so I can't say no. I'd prefer someone better, but we need options. Absolutely. And why we didn't sign Edison Cavani is beyond me. I really, really don't know. He's a massive aerial threat, which is what we've been crying out for ages. His work rate is second to none, and he's a good finisher. I wouldn't say very good, but he's just a good finisher. Yeah, why are we not in for Edison Cavani when his contract's going to run out in the summer? I do not know. But we don't make smart business. We don't make smart business or footballing decisions clearly. So the people that are running the club, making the football decisions, are businessmen. Hence why our footballing decisions have been poor for the past 7 years. Simple as that. Rasmus, hey, what's going on, man? Rasmus says, so happy that we got our man. Of course, success is not guaranteed, but he's a huge chance of being a big success for us. Completely agree. It's not guaranteed at all, but the fact that we've got him, and like I was saying before, if we got him in the summer, he scored, was it 32 goals last season and assisted 22 or something like that? Cut those stats in half for the Premier League straight away. 15 goals from midfield. 10 assists. That's still brilliant. That's still fantastic. That's what Pogba did last season. That's what I'm saying. Rachel says, when Pogba and Tommy come back, the team suddenly looks more balanced. Absolutely. Absolutely. I still feel like we need a specialist CDM. I really, really, really do. I really do. Because Matic has been, half decent. And he can't move. The guy can't move. That's why he got sent off. He got his second yellow against City. Because athletically, he's got nothing. He had to just take the foul. But clearly forgot he's got a yellow card already. Excuse me. So, yeah. For me, I still feel like we need a specialist CDM. You bring back Pogba. We've got Bruno. Who, by the way, I said to most people who were doubting that we get him, I believed that we would get Bruno Fernandes. My reasoning behind it is A, he'd already signed his personal terms and agreed it a long time ago. B, Sporting were in financial hardship. And C, the most important one, Woodward needed to make a signing. Look at all the heat he was getting. Look at what happened to his house. Imagine if he didn't sign Bruno Fernandes. Imagine if he didn't sign anyone at all. There's no way he could have come out of that transfer window without signing Bruno Fernandes and walking away from it with his head held high and keeping his job. No way whatsoever. JJ Powell, Shane, what do you think our chances are for top four now that we have Fernandes? I've just done a podcast with Red Devil Weekly, Red Devil Studio, and that question was raised. Do we get top four now that we've got Bruno? I think that's a lot to put on Bruno. Because of our consistencies, if nothing else, we've been so inconsistent throughout the whole season. As I said, we've just beaten Tranmere 6-0. We just beat City 1-0. Obviously, we lost a tie. But we're normally too good, too bad. That's what we've been all season long. And without Rashford, for the majority of the season, I don't think it's a tall order. If we still had Rashford and we had the likes of, obviously, Eric Bailly's back now, McTominay's coming back, Pogba's coming back, and we just bought Bruno Fernandes and we still had Rashford, I'd be a bit more confident. But because Rashford's our main goal scorer and Martial's not been doing it, obviously I don't feel like we should be relying on Greenwood to score goals because this is the kid's first full season and he's just turned 18 effectively. So because of our inconsistencies and because Rashford's injured and Bruno's arrived halfway through the season, I feel like we'll just miss out. If we make top four, I've no doubt it'll be solely down to Bruno Fernandes. I really do. But because Rashford's out and um, yeah, yeah, I think we'll just miss out. I really do. The ultimatum, Bruno. Finally, Jesus, what do you think about playing Dalot as right wing tomorrow? The Portuguese link up play, maybe. It's a good point. I've seen Dalot play right wing before. He's very, very good going forward. His delivery is very good. Defensively, he's not that great, but he's got that defensive mentality in him as well. Hence why I said if we do play 3-5-2, Dalot's got to be the right wing back, and Wan-Bissaka's got to be the right side of the three. I've got no qualms with the low playing there, I really don't. As long as we're playing four at the back, and if the low's playing there, as I said, he likes to do a step over, beat a man, then whip the ball in. I've got no problem with that, I really don't. That's a good shout. John McDonald, if we get in Igalo, I think you meant there, it just shows how far we have fallen. We are laughing stock. I'll be walking out tomorrow. Glazers out, 58th minute. Yeah, are you at the game tomorrow then, John, and take it? Yeah, if we do sign Igalo, I know a lot of people aren't happy about that. But as I say, that's the reality of where we are right now. That's the reality of how far we've fallen. That really, really is, man. So I'm with you. It's heart wrenching. That's a Watford reject. That's a Watford reject. If we sign Igalo, that's a Watford reject, man, that we're signing. Yeah, and that shows how far we've fallen. It really does. Rasmus AWB looked very confused when we played five at the back. I think it was against Liverpool. Yeah, five at the back can mess up with performance of AWB. Yeah, it's reality. The fact that we're obviously we will be training as playing five at the back, but you need to play there. You need to play there consistently to be effective. But one thing Wan-Bissaka is a ball winner. You can't lose that. Football Fan Fever, go and check out his channel as well, guys. It's my guy Danny. Igalo is on same wages as Martial and Rashford, 250k a week. Yeah, I don't think he'll be coming on that if he does come. Side ED, we building up our team in time to come. United will be the United people you used to know. That's a good point. We are building. We are building. One of the things I think that we're missing here, what Ollie's been doing very discreetly, we've been moaning for the past few managers. That's David Moyes, Van Gaal, obviously Mourinho, all the deadwood that we've been carrying. Now Ollie's coming. He's had 2 transfer windows. One of them being just a half window, obviously in January, and he's gotten rid of Ashley Young, Chris Smalling, Alexis Sanchez, Fellaini. I wouldn't quite say Lukaku is deadwood. I wouldn't quite say Herrera is deadwood. Herrera wasn't deadwood, but he's come in and he's gotten rid of a lot. Oh, and Rojo as well. He's got rid of all that deadwood that we've been complaining about. There's only really Phil Jones left now with the deadwood. He's got rid of all of those guys. So I think we need to give Ollie credit for that reason as well. So yeah, but yeah, we are building. Nanny Wood says Martial should go. I don't know about Martial going. That's a big shout. I've got no qualms about bringing in another top-class striker and challenging Martial. But then what I think that may do is raise Martial's level. But letting him go completely, I think that may come back to bite us. The fact that we've got Bruno now, the fact that we're getting Pogba back, that's creativity to the supreme. And I think our strikers will benefit from that. Those runs that I saw Greenwood and Martial making against City, and we just didn't have the creativity or the vision to see them passes. I think those guys want. I think you'll see a lot more goal opportunities created. Rachel saying no to that Martial going. He should step up. He should step up though. Yeah, Rachel saying no. Yeah, I agree. What's going on, Danny? John saying the Glazers have taken 3 billion out of the club and signed Igalo on loan. It stinks. It does, John. I can't disagree with you there, mate. I completely agree. The Glazers are funneling money out of the club, but that's one of the reasons why I don't believe they'll sell the club. Unless there's the massive revolts and financially we start hitting them with obviously protests, merchandise not being bought. Just ignore what's behind me. No, I'm only joking. That's the only way the Glazers sell the club. They're making way too. They're making way too much money. Simple as that. The ultimatum says You know what I'm also happy about? Bruno's wages. It isn't £100,000 yet. You asked a good point. A week or something. It's simple, and I applaud Man United for that. Yeah, I think that's more down to Bruno's desire to come to Man United. Obviously, he said that one of the reasons that he fell in love with Man United is because he started watching them when Cristiano Ronaldo joined us before. So, I think the fact that he's got love for Man United, that speaks volumes. Badass Dad said, since Fergie left, no manager has had a clear view of where United need to be, and it shows on the pitch for many seasons. Absolutely. Now, if you go to the likes of Barcelona as a club have a club ethos. They have a club identity and an ethos, and they'll bring in only managers that will adapt and use that club ethos, and those, they will only bring managers in that suit that philosophy ultimately. Whereas, like Badass Dad said there, we bringing in managers that have their own philosophies, their own desires, their own will, and that's why we spent so much money and so much on wages, because we're bringing in these managers that have all different ideas. We're not, as a club, we don't have our own philosophy, and bringing in managers to suit that. So yeah, it's a great point. Harjit Domeli says Dalot is very, very good player. I can see you can see it, but why don't the others see it in Dalot? Would be great right-sided player. Dalot, unfortunately, has been injured. Yeah, it's simple as that. Dalot's been injured. I feel like, to be able to convert, to be able to be consistent, you need to be on the pitch. You need to have opportunities, which is one of the huge things as well. So I just feel it's down to the fact that, yeah, he's just not had opportunities, and he's been injured because he's been injured. He's not had the opportunity. Simple as that, really. So yeah, I think that's what it comes down to, really. Rachel saying, is Igalo confirmed? No, he's not confirmed yet. I don't know if he will be, but one thing I do know is Ollie is after a striker. And the fact that we was looking at going for Joshua King, who is essentially a Man United reject. Obviously, we sold him. He come through our academy from 14, and we sold him. So the fact that we're going back to players that we've had to sell, yeah, doesn't bode well. Doesn't show up very well either. So yeah. John says, I never miss a home game, and the atmosphere there is like a non-league game. Yeah, I used to play non-league, and I've also been to quite a few Man United home games. I used to say it's very corporate because it's so quiet. When we score a goal, people are clapping instead of shouting. When I go, I'm very loud. People stare at me because of how loud I'm shouting, and I'm like, if you want to be quiet, when Man United score, go home and watch the game. But when I'm in the stadium, I'm loud. Simple as that. So yeah. So John's saying he goes to all the home games. Mate. That's big, 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 big. So you're going to be walking out at the 58th minute. Then I'll take it, John. Yeah, you'll have to let us know how that goes, John, mate. Harjit says, but I saw it when he first played. I'm assuming you're referring to Dalot there, and his attacking ability. Yeah, when he did first play, yeah, he showed out, and I think he's better suited to actually be more offensive than defensive. That's why I feel like he'll do well as a right wing back if we do play that system. But ultimately, yeah, I've got no qualms with playing Dalot as a right winger. Papa Stores, I know we need a striker to replace Russia, but honestly, Igalo ain't the right man. I'd rather just keep Marshall up top and play James left wing until Greenwood is good to go again. It's a good point. It's a good point. It's a good point. The only reason I say I'm not mad at the Igalo signing is because it's temporary. He won't be on massive wages, and the fact that it's this different option. Like when we're playing against certain teams, you can just see there is just no plan B. There's just no way. If we don't score the way that we normally play, we're just not going to score, and that's why we end up losing like 1-0, or the pressure ends up back on us because we're not scoring at the top end. Teams will ultimately get chances at the other end. So, but the only way you alleviate that is by scoring goals and deflating the opposition, and by having a different type of striker with a plan B. That's why when we used to bring in Marouane Fellaini, a lot of the times he'd score crucial goals because he's great in the air. So if we don't have a plan B, if we don't have players to give us the option of a plan B, then we just don't have a second option. And that's why I feel like we need a different type of striker. Yeah. So Rich said the Stretford end is banging. Yeah, that's a good point. Rachel, I've not set the Stretford end, so yeah. Harjit says, really enjoy your show. Then the foul-mouthed other Man U fan cam channel. Yeah, I can't really comment on the other fan channels. What they do is what they do. What I do is what I do. That's really what I can say. I'm just, yeah, I don't feel the need to. That's what I can say. Yeah, but I appreciate the support, Harjit, mate. I also wanted to touch on what you guys thought the score would be. Um, I'm saying we're gonna win 2-0. 2-0? 2-0? 2-0, any takers? Uh, I'm just going off the premise that we've not conceded in the last two games. Obviously, I know one of those games was against Tranmere, lower league opposition, but you can only beat who's in front of you. And we've obviously made hard work of it in the past against lower league teams in the Cups. So, yeah, I'm not taking that for granted. And the fact that we didn't concede against City at the Etihad says an awful lot. That really, really does. So I'm going 2-0 for us. And I'm going to say the scorers will be Martial and I'm going to go Bruno off the bench. John says, I've supported United for 65 years, a season ticket holder, and the club is rotten. Yeah, at the minute, John, it is, yeah, it's really, really not great, mate. And it's a shame. It really, really is, because I've supported the club since I think I was 4, due to my uncle being a Man United supporter. And yeah, as it stands now, I don't recognise it, from when I was little. So yeah, no, I completely agree, mate. It's not great. Um, yeah, no, Rachel's saying it's the board. Yeah, it is the board. But the board is the Glazers, isn't it? I suppose. Yeah, it's just a shame. It really, really is. So yeah, I'm going for 2-0. I'm going for Bruno Fernandes to make his debut off the bench. That's just what I think Ollie will do. I'd love to see him start. And the fact that Mattis is suspended, you can justify starting Bruno, because Lingard has just been terrible. Obviously, you guys would have seen the reports and the captions of what Ollie was saying to Lingard. If you do that one more time, I'm going to take you off. So yeah, I think it's justified if we start Bruno Fernandes. I don't think it's being disloyal to anyone, because we don't have that much quality in the side either. We'll win 4-0. Bruno's going to come from the bench and score a brace. I am dreaming, I know. No, that's Rasmus A. That's that, mate. I like the positivity. I'll never, ever, ever, I'll never fault that. Rachel saying 3-1. I'd love that. I'd love that. We'll score one more than you. I want to see us getting back to the old days of attacking football. All this counter-attacking, it's just terrible. It's just terrible, and we're just not. You want to see you see the likes of Rashford, just wanted to go. The likes of Martial just wanted to go. The likes of Greenwood just wanted to go, and Pogba, for the last few years, has been the only player in the side that's been able to play those types of balls, or even look for those type of balls. When we was playing against City, you've seen Greenwood making those runs in behind the defenders, in between the defenders. Martial's making those runs. And you've seen them making them time and time again, and they're just getting fed up. And what happens? The strikers just stop making the runs until you get the likes of Bruno Fernandes coming to the side. So it'll be interesting. Obviously they've only had one session together. They would have been looking at Bruno Fernandes, seeing what he's about. They'll be excited to see what he can do in a competitive game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, because our strikers are making those runs, but we just haven't had the midfielders for the longest while to make those passes. So I'm really interested to see what we can produce. Rachel says, attack is the United way. Yes, it really, really is. And then hopefully we'll be singing glory, glory, Man United again. Rasmus says, Ollie mentioning 5 at the back doesn't give any promises about attacking football anytime soon. I know, so long as he plays Delo at right wing back, Brandon Williams at left wing back, and doesn't play Luke Shaw at left centre back, I'll be okay. And so long as he has Bruno in there somewhere. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me. There's been a lot going on. I'll see how it goes for the rest of the transfer window. I'm seeing something here saying Man United 50-50 to sign Igalo. Yeah, I know. If we do sign Igalo, I may go live a bit later if there's a demand for it, guys. But anyway, I shall see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Yeah. Hope I don't know. Hopefully. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I want Igalo. I don't know. I know I said I wasn't mad, but I really don't know. Anyway, take care, guys. I'll see you in the next one.